Who wins in all of this? Is there any real winner? What happens to all the children and the women who get killed in that process? Does that matter anymore for either Israel or the Hamas? Difficult questions, and of course at a time like this, when some like to compare the situation between India and Pakistan to that between the Hamas and Israel. G. Parthasarathi, former Indian High Commissioner to Pakistan, Kamal Farooqi, Chairman, Delhi Minorities Commission, and from Israel, our first guest, Tel Aviv, Dr. Barak Ben Zur is a prominent terrorism and counter-terrorism expert. Dr. Ben Zur, what is going on? I mean, how long will these strikes continue?
Well,
how many more people will be killed? How many more children are going to be killed before the strikes end?
Well, it's a tragic situation for the both sides, because in the both sides there are killings of civilians, and of course no side is standing behind this process, especially the Israeli side. But there is no really rational alternative to deal with a group of terrorists that took over the government in Gaza Strip some 1 year and 6 months ago, and since then they are waging a terror attack against the Israeli civilians in the southern part of Israel.
No, but Mr. Ben Zur, these are children who are being killed. I mean, there must be, in today's technology, surely you know which targets to kill, to attack, unless you have decided let's kill as many number of people as possible, because all we have to do is teach them a lesson. So these are indiscriminate attacks. You're hitting mosques, you're hitting residential areas, bodies of children are being taken out, and this is really becoming an all-out war. What is your purpose and how far will you take it?
Well, sir, if you are looking even to the short history of the Hamas group, that is the Islamic fundamentalist group that is waging terror attack since the very beginning of this armed group back in 1987, they used the suicide bomber system against the Israeli civilians. Just in 2002, 451 Israeli civilians were killed by a terror attack that waged by Palestinians,
right,
especially the Hamas group.
Right.
And of course, once the system of suicide bombers was derailed, they started to use launching rockets on civilian populated areas.
Right. Okay. Okay. Now there is a question here. I'm going to come to G. Parthasarathi in just a few minutes to that. That has America got double standards? It takes clear sides as far as Israel and Hamas are concerned, saying if the Hamas had not attacked, then Israel would not have had to respond. But when it comes to India and Pakistan, it virtually says to both sides, please sort your problems out. Clear case of American double standards. Before I go to G. Parthasarathi, perhaps Kamal Farooqi wants to come in and probably respond and ask a few questions. Mr. Farooqi, you have any questions for our guest from Israel or any point you want to make in response?
Yeah, this is very unfortunate what actually my friend in Tel Aviv is saying. He is just to understand, things have to go into his mind that Hamas is the democratically elected government. It is a fact of life, number one. And number two is, how dare they can kill the innocent people like this and compare it with 1 or 2 or 3 rockets by them. The most unfortunate part is, what actually they are doing, is it not a terrorist activity? We are trying to build up a case against the terrorism all over the country, all over the world. I personally feel, if at all anybody is responsible, it is the Israeli government which is responsible for the terrorism all over the world. And most unfortunate part is that, very rightly said, Arnab, that the US has got the double standards. Why the same thing they are not behaving in our side? We have given them the clear-cut proof as far as the Pakistan are concerned, but they are taking a different line. But here they are whole hog supporting, whereas the entire international community is opposing them. This is very unfortunate, and this thing, in fact, they are the culprit. If at all anybody has to be declared as the terrorist state, it is the Israel who are doing it, and they have to be condemned all over the world.
Mr. Ben Zur, these are strong reactions, but they are the kind of reaction that are coming around the world. Would you like to respond to Mr. Kamal Farooqi? You probably heard what he said there.
Of course, we will to take in consideration that some 6 months ago there was a ceasefire between the Israelis and the Hamas, And what the Hamas have done in those 6 months, did they invested on schools? Did they invested in the local economy? Did they invested in their children's future? No, sir. The Hamas invaded on rockets, on explosives, on missiles, and training their forces. That what they have done in those 6 months. They used the ceasefire for a military buildup. This is the reality. If you are looking to the manpower of the military branch of the Hamas, it grew some 10 times than it was 6 months ago.
It's about the provocation. That's what Mr. Faruqi is saying. It's about the provocation.
Just because they invested
He's saying it's about the provocation.
But under no circumstances, it will justify the killings of hundreds of the innocent people.
No, but
I'll just ask my friend in Tel Aviv, how would he react if the people in Israel, the children of 2 years, 3 years are being killed like this massively? Whatever Hamas is doing, you could have dealt with them in the military manner, but attacking the civilians like this, hundreds of the children have been killed, people have been killed. Can you justify all these kind of things? Within 6 months, whatever has happened, that should not be a case for killing the innocent people. How would you react when the children of your community or in any other part of the world, these children are being killed by some state like you?